What's up, everybody? This is the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast, and I'm your host, Sean Dustin. Happy Monday to everybody out there who went to work today and had to get up and go do that grind. I know how it feels. I did the same. So happy Monday to you. We got a good episode lined up for you tonight. Mitch Smiley, who is a formerly incarcerated individual who did 39 years in prison. And man, he went in at the age of 17 and didn't get out until he was 56. So it's 39 years he spent locked up in prison. I was lucky enough to be able to contact Mitch after one of his followers had pointed him out to me, and I brought him on the show. I thought his story was interesting, and his his climb back to redemption. He's been out for 4 years now, almost. So I'm really interested to hear his story, and also to take a look at his art that he's doing, and kind of what he's doing now since he's been out, and how his life has adjusted, and where he's at. So definitely good show for you. If you are watching on Facebook, do me a favor and like and share this video. Anywhere else, same thing. If you're on the podcast platforms, when this thing goes out to the iTunes, Spotify, and all the other ones, we will be share that and like that too. Appreciate it. We'll be right back after these messages.
Sean Dustin spent time in federal and state prison for drug trafficking and fraud. Upon release in 2006, he had nothing but the clothes on his back, a bag of mail, and legal paperwork. In 2010, he kicked a long-time methamphetamine habit and started the long climb back up the ladder of life. This is the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast. If you want transparency and authenticity, you're in the right place. This is the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast, and this is Sean Dustin.
Hey, Mitch, what's happening, brother?
All right. How are you doing?
Good, man. Thank you for taking the time and coming on the show and hanging out with me tonight, and sharing your story and your hope and inspiration, and all those things that come along with when you get out of incarceration and you are ready to start your life over and start a new path, right?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's a privilege.
So tell me a little bit about your story. How did you end up in prison at 17?
Well, it doesn't just start with the incident itself, but by the way, it's 38 years too, not 39.
38. Okay. All right.
Yeah, 38. Yeah. 6 months and some change. The quick and easy answer is, I was involved in a fight in a bar. I have 2 co-defendants. One of them was getting beaten up, and I stepped in, and somebody else stepped in with a knife and stabbed the person that was fighting with my other co-defendant, and he died. And all 3 of us got arrested. I was 17, they were 24, and they offered me and the guy who was getting beaten up a manslaughter, and he offered the other guy second-degree murder. That was a deal that was offered to us, but they didn't make it like an easy deal, like, hey, plead guilty and be on your way to prison. It was a package deal, so all 3 of us would have had to take the deal or no deal, unless you wanted to get on the witness stand and say what your part in the crime was. And my lawyer told me, look, it's not just, your part in the crime. Once they get you on the witness stand, they can ask you whatever they want. So, and, getting on the witness stand was kind of out of the question anyway. So we went to trial and we all got found guilty. That one guy got an extra year for personal use of a weapon during the commission of a crime. And I was found guilty of aiding and abetting by vicarious liability.
By vicarious liability.
Yeah.
So in layman's term, what does that mean?
Well, I used to go to board. I had to go in front of the parole board because I was given a 15-2 life sentence. And so you have to go in front of a parole board, and I'd say, hey, I'm an aider and abetter. And they'd say, yeah, you're aiding and abetting by vicarious liability. So I'm liable for the actions of the people I was involved with this incident. I'm liable for their actions because you make a choice to get involved with something with other people and then something goes wrong, you're just as liable for it. Vicarious liability. So I'm liable through them,
Yeah.
Vicariously,
Yeah, that's kind of weird because you were the youngest one. You would have thought that you know what I mean? You would have been able to at least work something out there, right?
Well, I'd been to youth authority already twice.
Oh.
I was, I grew up in a narcissistic mom, an alcoholic stepfather who was kind of violent, and I was a latchkey kid, and then you get disrespected at home, and slapped around, beat down by your stepdad. You go looking for other acceptance or just some kind of a little bit of respect or whatever elsewhere, and so other guys that I hung out with probably had the same upbringing as me as far as their home life. We used to run the neighborhood. We used to ride dirt bikes, and we used to ride, our bicycles, all over the neighborhood. A piece of art paper just fell. And, we kind of looked up to the guys in the neighborhood that were in motorcycle clubs, and they were like our mentors or whatever you want to refer to them as. And, we wanted to grow up and be like them, so, fighting and violence was kind of the norm. I mean, I learned it in home, and I learned it, in school, and because, I didn't have parents that interacted with me a lot and taught me a lot of shit. Other than, you don't let people put their hands on you. Violence was just kind of the norm. And so fighting, beating people down, that was like, I don't want to say a badge of honor, but it was accepted. And it was like, hey, yeah, Mitch just beat up so-and-so. And,
it was a different time. Actually, it was like, how old what year was that?
Well, I went to youth authority like 74, 73, 74. But like when I was in 7th grade, I had an issue with my PE teacher. I used to go out to PE, and then I would come in and get my hair wet and get dressed, and because you got to shower after PE, but I would ditch out and go smoke weed, before my next class. And the guy's like, take a shower, Smiley. And I go, I already did. And he got in my face, and I go, hey, fuck you, old man. And the guy slapped me in the face and made my nose bleed. So I went in his office and asked him why he hit me. And he said, because you cursed at me. And, I busted him in the mouth, I split his upper lip open, and, I got in trouble. The police came, and then my dad showed up and told the police, that guy didn't have any right to slap me. And if they were going to arrest me, they were going to arrest him because he was going to go beat the guy's ass too, so, I mean, so.
Yeah, definitely a different era.
It was a different era, whether it was good, bad, or otherwise. I mean, you learn the hard way how things are, and you learn how to stand up for yourself. And, and I just figured, well, the guys in the neighborhood that I looked up to, I mean, I like motorcycles. They were in the Harleys, and they were just good, and they'd be like, hey, youngster, what's up? They would always greet us with a smile, a handshake, and treat you like a young man, and teach you how to fight and show you the bikes and that, so I thought that shit was cool. We all did. And yeah.
And so you reading through the guest form that you had sent, you mentioned that you dabbled in drugs like meth and all that and that kind of stuff too. And actually, it was when you were doing it the same thing when I started. It was crank.
Yeah.
It was that old school biker dope, stinky shit that you could smell in your nose 3 days after you did a line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what, did that play any part in, your fault, or did you get involved with that once you were inside, or did you have?
No, like I grew up in San Diego, so San Diego's like on the border of Mexico. So obviously, a lot of the drugs that go into the United States go through San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you live in Texas somewhere, they might go through a town down there. But California, I mean, we're right on the border. We had, we have Paisas walking across the border, walking through my neighborhood. So all the drugs came through. I started smoking weed when I was about 12. When I was 13, I started taking acid, taking whites, which is speed pills, and reds, rainbows, which was barbiturates. They don't even make anymore, I don't think. Quaaludes.
Yeah. Old school stuff.
Yeah, and I went to youth authority. I was 13, turning 14, I think, and I grew up in a place that's predominantly white. We have Indian reservation on the outskirts of town, Verona, and then we had the Mexican guys I grew up with. I didn't really know they're Mexican, because they were just my friends, and they were just like me, and them had long hair, and they dressed like me, and we rode motorcycles together, and we kicked it together, and so there was some Mexicans, mostly white, and some Native Americans, and then I think we had like 2 black families in my neighborhood. So that's kind of how I grew up,
Yeah.
And, but yeah, drugs were a big deal, especially weed, LSD, pills. And, looking back, as an adult, I'm pretty well grounded now. And I can say, I was just a fucked up kid that didn't know how to deal with life. And drugs were a way that I thought would help me deal with life. I didn't look at drugs as an escape. I just looked at drugs as, when I was high or drunk or whatever, life wasn't so fucking bad, and also drugs brought a connection with my friends and I. We all started using drugs around the same time. Most of my friends were older,
Yeah.
But, and then I went to youth authority. I was in Fred C. Nellis. Then I went to Hoyts Close, Paso Robles. My first term, I was in a dorm, like 4 white dudes, 30, 35 blacks, 15, 20 Mexicans. So we were, a minority. And violence there, we were always the target of violence, beat downs, rat packs, all that shit. And that was, you got to remember, that was the Black Panther thing was still going on, fuck Whitey, all that shit was happening. And the street gangs from LA, the black gangs like the Crips and Bloods and stuff they were just still kind of new.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was doing, I had bullshit crimes, fighting, stealing, drugs, knick-knack shit. I was doing time when I was 13, 14 with guys that were 19, 20, 23 years old that were in there for murder. They were gang members, both, Hispanic, Mexican, Chicano dudes and blacks that were in there for killing people and shooting people and doing armed robberies. And every now and then you meet one to sit down and bullshit with you, and you'd be like, fuck, this dude's like,
he's a killer.
So I'd never really been exposed to that in my life until I went to youth authority, So I thought, all right, and so it's, you kind of, at a young age, you start to develop a tough skin, kind of realize you kind of take on whether you believe it or not, you take on the mentality and outward appearance like, that ain't shit, it ain't no big deal.
Yeah, so it must have helped you a little bit in the transition when you went to, prison. And
Yeah.
Because when I think of a 17-year-old going to prison, I think of a 17-year-old that hasn't really done serious time yet, and first walks in, eyes wide open, you know what I mean, like, oh, this is the real deal, you know what I mean? But you already had a little bit of hardness to you, you know what I mean? You had some experience inside and in that mentality already, right?
Yeah. I went in there with a 6 to 9 month sentence, and I got accused of some shit, and I decided I was going to escape, so I beat down a counselor, split his head open. Big chessboard that you make in wood shop. I beat some counselor's head in with it, and I was going to knock him out and take his keys. That didn't work out. So I got a couple extra years, and it was, I got out of youth authority. I only stayed out about 4 months, and I went back for, I beat some guys up in a pool hall, and I went back for another year, and I went to Preston. And so they had Northerners, Southerners, blacks, whites. That's the first time I ever saw that. And that's the first time I ever saw somebody get stabbed inside an institution, setting. I saw this guy, Chicano dude, he stabbed 3 dudes on the way to chow, and he stabbed one, stabbed the other guy, and chased the other guy around the building and stabbed him. And I was just standing there going, wow, because you got to act like, nothing's going on. But in my mind, I was going, wow, that's some serious shit, But
yeah, I mean, what did it put any fear in you, or were you just like, whoa?
No, I kind of knew, that was between them, But we had a couple race riots there between the whites and the blacks, and it was just it was always somebody running their mouth. Somebody didn't like it, and they wanted to do something about it, and so you have a riot. And that's where I first got where they would shoot us with these the tear gas us or mace us, and they also had these little pistols, and it had 4 barrels, and they have a plug in the middle, and it shoots little tear gas bullets.
Oh, wow.
But they would take the plug out, and they would just shoot the bullet at you, and they'd try to shoot you in the head, and the bullet would bust on your head. And, it was, yeah. So, you get used to that, man. Doing a lot of time in the cell. Preston was all cell living for me. But now I'm dealing with guys that are talking about selling heroin, shooting heroin, and righteous gang shit, guys. Some of the Hispanic dudes are tied to prison gangs in prison because at Preston's by Tracy, kind of not too far away. If you were an adult commitment, you were fucking up, they would send you to Tracy. They sent one dude there, and he got killed. Thought he went there, thought he was going to run shit, and they killed him. So, I mean, that's what I was living around in Preston before I got out. So I was exposed to. I actually had a friend down from Compton, Chicano dude, and he's like, "Yeah, Holmes, give me a call when you get out," And so I got out and I called him. He's like, "Yeah, come on up, we'll go do some robberies," like, "Yeah, we'll go surfing," but he's like, "Yeah, we'll go raw and do some." I said, "It's all good, bro," But I didn't take him up on that. But I mean, that's the kind of shit that I was just getting elevated. It's increasing in severity, the criminal mentality. And the thing with me is, like, I grew up around scooter tramp bikers, and so shooting dope was against the rules,
Yeah.
And especially like heroin, shooting dope, because the thing is, you shoot dope, it makes you weak. So that was kind of out of the question for me. But when I got out of Preston, I just turned 17 for about a month, not even a month. And, I wanted a motorcycle. So I got a motorcycle, And, I was just running amok, and I ended up living with my friend and his mom, who's a biker chick. They're slinging crank. I'd never been around crank, just whites, and reds and all that shit. So, I snorted some crank, first time ever, blew the top of my head off, just thought it was the best shit in the world, until I had to come down. And then I was like, man, this is rough, But,
Yeah.
And so I had a picture in my head of, all the guys I knew that were in clubs, and my homeboys were all building motorcycles. I had a group of guys I grew up around as a little kid up into my teenage years. They were all buying like Triumphs and BSAs and little flathead 45s, and they were making choppers out of them. Friend was a welder. He'd, stretch the frames, all that shit. And they were all pretty cool guys. None of them guys ever got involved with motorcycle club shit. And they were just good guys and liked to ride. And, I was the youngest one out of that whole crew. The oldest guy was like 26. I was 17. But, they would, but I had this picture in my head like, hey, I want to do the deal. I want to be, all that, so I started selling crank, and I started buying guns, flipping guns for money and speed, crank, and, buying hot merchandise for one connection, buying a different kind of hot merchandise from my other connection. And then, guns were always a big seller. I had someone that would buy guns and take them down to Mexico. Mexico at the time, the cartel shit wasn't really, they didn't have access to the money and the guns and shit like they have now. So you could take a single shot 22 rifle down to Mexico and sell it. They'd buy any gun you could get. So that's what I was doing, and I was snorting crank and drinking whiskey and just,
so you just continue to elevate your game, learn more, learn more, get more involved. And then, you got popped for the murder, and that was it. Right. And then where'd you end up? What state prison did you end up at?
Pretty much all of them, at one time or another. I mean, I did 38 years, and when I went to prison, they didn't have a point system. They classified you by your age and your crime. I went to Chino. I got a stabbing. I went to the shoe. I ended up in the shoe unit for like 4.5 years. And, I went through San Quentin. And then my counselor's like, my counselor's like, hey, look, I got a new counselor. And she ended up becoming the director of corrections later on. But she's like, hey, look, if you give me a year clean, I'll get you out of the hole in the shoe. And I go, I was like, well, all you fucking cops say this, that, and the other, but your fucking word's no good, And she goes, my word's good. You give me a year clean and I'll get you out of here. So I go, all right. I was young, like if the cops did something, gave us bad food, whatever, we'd burn, flood, throw shit and piss on the cops. They'd extract you. I mean, like if they didn't pass out the mail, or, if they gave us like rotten milk for breakfast, or, one time they had this turkey a la king. They got that fake turkey loaf shit, and there were maggots in it. And they were serving big chunks, like never before. Like, you want more? And I'm like, fuck it, And there was a newspaper article in the San Quentin newspaper talking about the maggots in the turkey loaf, and you could see the maggots in it. They still cooked it anyway and served it. I mean, that's how prison was. I mean, they didn't give a fuck about you, and you're so hungry, you're in the shoe, you're in the hole. I was just like, fuck it, load up my tray, But, so I got a lot of, then they came out with a point system. So all these write-ups I was getting, it compacted. My points went up like 164. But after a year, I told my counselor, Susan Hubbard was her name, and I said, hey, I got a fucking year clean, and you gave me your word you get me out of here, so what's up? And man, she took me in her office, back then you were, if you're in a hole, you're shackled. She took my shackles off, and I'm like, wow, my hands are free. I'm not all chained up, and she told the cop, hey, take his handcuffs off, and she's like, I'm going to try to send you to Soledad,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, all right. And so a couple months go by, I go, hey, what the fuck's up? You said you'd get me out of here. You gave me your word. And she's like, man, I put you up for Soledad like 3 times and they don't want you. And,
Oh, wow.
because I had gotten some violence and, I got a lot of write-ups, and a lot of trouble. So she goes, look, I'm going to put you up to go to Vacaville. They have a thing called a security housing decompression unit. It's called a category V. So for guys that have been in the hole, it was like to transition you back to living on a main line. That was what the idea of the program was. And I was like, all right, fuck it. She goes, but listen, if you go there and you fuck up and they send you back here, you're not getting out of here for at least another 5 years. That's before they built all these new prisons,
Yeah.
So goes, think about it and let me know. So I told her a week later, yeah, go ahead and shoot it, So I got out of there, went over, I spent a few months in the hole there, and then they let me go out to the main line there. That's the first righteous, main line. It was a security housing unit, decompression program. But they also had the category X, which was a 90-day observation for lifers. Category T, it's a 2-year program for lifers. And I started meeting all these dudes that were lifers, been to the pen. Some of them got busted in like 70, 73. So they're older guys, been down longer than me. And I met one of them. He's a friend of mine still to this day. He's in a bike club out of LA. And I was like, he's like, we went to a group. We're in the same group, for a while. And after group, he goes, hey, because that guy's pretty cool, huh? He's talking about the counselors. They were actually psychiatrists who had worked on death row.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're doing this program for us. And they were really pretty interesting guys. They were pretty smart. They're older dudes, free staff, and so my friend goes, hey, man, them dudes are pretty cool, huh? I go, yeah, I was kind of guarded in my answer, but he was letting me know, hey, it's okay to get something out of this fucking program. And, as time went on, he would tell me, hey, look, we got to do this shit if we're ever going to get out,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's when and when I was in the shoe, I used to draw a lot. So when I got out of the main line, I got into hobby. I started woodworking. I took milling cabinet, vocational milling cabinet. They had hobby shops back then where you could go down to the hobby shop. They had all the woodworking machines, all the jewelry making shit, all the ceramic stuff. Like you had to buy all your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to buy all my own wood, glue, lacquer, everything, hinges, some tools, hand tools. So I started getting into that, and plus I started tattooing and drawing and painting and shit.
Yeah, you got to have a hustle while you're there, man. Doesn't matter, what it is. Whether you're cutting hair, you're drawing tattoos, you're making the Mexicans.
Yeah.
The one thing that I always say is there's so many talented men. And women too that are locked behind behind the walls.
Right.
I saw so many talented people in my journey through the places that I went.
Yeah. Well, you got to figure like all these guys. Like I hooked up my celly, Dirty Dennis. He's from Oakland. He's passed away now, but he came from Folsom and he worked in the wood room in the hobby shop in Folsom. So he's like, hey, he would give me a lot of game and so I was making jewelry boxes, clocks, wooden toys, and they had a store out front where you could sell it to the general public and the staff, and the money went on your books, and the state took 10% for inmate welfare. But that was one thing I was doing. And then also, like I said, I was tattooing, and then I was also involved with, illegal shit still, because I was still, snorting crank and smoking weed, drinking wine. That was part of the routine.
Well, yeah, because you're making good money off your art and all this other stuff, so you got money to spend, right?
No, actually,
No?
I didn't spend money on drugs.
No.
No, we had our own drugs.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
yeah. So I actually made money off drugs.
All right.
And I used drugs, crank and weed. And, I made wine. We drink wine. And, so I'm doing that. And, my cellie got a date. He was a lifer with a double murder. And so I was a kid still, he's the old biker dude from Oakland. And he's like, he had come and asked me, hey, man, I want you to move in with me. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. I lived in a dorm at the time.
Yeah.
He's like, well, why not? I'm like, well, you got a drug, you get the dope sack, man, and you got shit going on. And I got a little bit of shit going on, but, I didn't want that shit to interfere with our friendship, basically.
Yeah.
And so the next day he comes and he goes, hey, you tell me one guy in this prison I should move in my cell besides you, and I'll move him in. On your word, I'll move that guy in my cell. And so a couple of days went by, and I went to him, fuck it, I'll move in, Yeah, so that was, and I learned a lot from him and my other friend I chose in bike club. I learned a lot from them guys, and I was still fucking up. I went back to the hole a couple of times, and one time actually they were going to transfer me back to San Quentin, and this guy, still a friend of mine today, he came down to the hole and they let him talk, yelled down the tier through their grill gate, and he goes, hey, what the fuck's wrong with you? Because I figured I was going back to San Quentin. I was in there raising hell, burning and fucking with the cops, and calling the cops out like, hey, step in my cell, all that shit. And there was a deputy warden there that worked his way up from CEO to deputy warden. His name was Bill Nyberg. He's passed away now, but, he loved us, man. And he gave us a chance, to be there and program and do what we had to do to try to get out of prison. And so my friend yelled down the tier, hey, write Nyberg a letter and give him your word, and tell him I told you this and that and the other. And so I shot him a kite and I go, hey, so-and-so told me to write you. And, if you let me go back to the housing unit, you got my word, I won't fuck up. So about 2 weeks later, they let me out of the hole. And I was in the unit, and this little guy comes in with a bald head and he goes, where's this guy Smiley at? Guy's right. I went in the cell with him and he goes, I told him, hey, thank you for giving me a chance, to come out here and program. And he goes, you got one chance. He goes, if you fuck up, I'm going to send you to a pit. You understand what I'm saying? I said, I understand exactly what you're saying. So a pit, that was Folsom.
Yeah.
They call it the pit or the end of the road,
Mm-hmm.
So that dude, there was a bunch of us there, man. We were Nyberg's kids, and if we ever had a problem, we just contacted him and he'd straighten it out,
Yeah, no, for sure. At what point did it turn around for you where you just, you know what I mean? Because I know that I never did a long period of time. I mean, 3 years was the max that I've done. I mean, probably 5 years in total, but 3 years and it was the longest stint. And like for me, it was really not enough time for me to be able to touch down, get familiar. By the time I got comfortable, it was time to go.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was a progression, I mean, I'm a teenager, now I'm in my early 20s. And so when this stuff's going on, a couple of them dudes are like, hey, look, what do you want to do, man? You want to be in and out of the hole? Or do you want to stay out here and party, have a good time, and make money? I said, I want to stay out here and party and have a good time and make money. They said, all right. So they taught me how to do that. And like my celly Dennis, he's like, hey, you stay clean by being dirty. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? His theory was, if you got dope on you, you're dirty. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get in the cop's face. You're not going to do anything stupid because you're dirty. And so you're going to acquire a lot of clean time as far as write-ups and all that because, you can't afford to get jacked, But so I started like developing some clean time and staying out of cops' face and learning how to live, you know. And then, you know, later on in life, you know, I went to Tracy. When I left there, I went back to San Quentin, and they made it a level 2. So I bounced over to New Folsom and then Tracy. The parole board sent me to Tracy to finish my vocational milling cabinet. That used to be a vocational prison, basically. And, you know, I finished my trade, milling cabinet, and I started working PIA wood factory, you know, hobby, still slinging dope, doing this and that, you know, whatever. I gotten married, was having family visits, you know, have a daughter, you know, so there's baby involved. So, you know, that kind of changes you. You're a little more careful, even though you're doing dirty shit, you're a little more careful. And I got deeper into my art, my tattooing. I actually wrote a story that was published in Tattoo Review magazine, issue 29, about tattooing in prison. You know, I just started I had like a limited amount of friends, you know, and most of them were biker dudes from the street. And I just started getting into me and mine, you know, and you know, things, life gets a little easier, you know. And then I got transferred down to Donovan for a program. And from there, I ended up in Koncrete, level 4 yard, 3B yard. And I started realizing, man, you know, like when I was in Koncrete, I was doing some dirty shit with this friend of mine, and he got busted. And I thought, man, look, you know, this is when I started realizing, you know, I'll probably never go home. But I'm not going to give them a bullet. Like, I'm not going to put a bullet in the gun, you know, to shoot me with, right? Yeah, so I had to go to board, and they're going to deny me parole because that now Pete Wilson's the governor, right? So, but I'm not going to make it easy for them. They're going to have to deny me on bullshit, basically, you know?
Yeah.
And so here I am trying to be cool, trying to do this and that and the other, do my artwork. There's no art, there's no hobby or nothing in Corcoran. So when my friend got busted and went to the hole, I said, man, you know, all my friends are gone. All the older cats I came up with are gone. And the thing is, if you're not having fun, you're not making money, and you're still fucking with drugs, and you're just a fucking dope fiend, you know? And so I flushed a 1/4 ounce of speed down the toilet, 97 right there in Corcoran. I said, fuck it, I'm done, you know?
Yeah.
And as far as that goes, I ain't never looked back. I haven't fucked with it since, you know? And
good
then
for you, man.
Yeah, I got transferred over to Lancaster, level 4 prison. They had hobby. I started communicating with the Catholic chaplain. He was from Ireland, man. He was really super cool, old school guy. You know, I started going to the chapel more, and he got me a job in arts and corrections. So I worked in arts and corrections for like 5 years. My job was to do artwork and for the program and teach guys how to paint, you know. So at one time I would have like 10 guys in there painting, all different races, and we would sell the paints at auction every year for charity, and we give the money to the Children's Center of Antelope Valley, where they help abused children and their mothers. And so not only were these guys learning how to paint, but for myself and them, you know, most of us are selfish motherfuckers, and that's why we're in prison, you know. They would spend hours and hours and hours on a painting, and then they had to give it to me for the program to auction off. So we were learning, all of us, you know, to be a little selfless, you know.
Yeah.
And to give back a little bit. And the last sale we did, we made like $9,000, you know, and everyone was like, fuck yeah, you know. And also there was a line of communication there because we had all different races of guys in there learning how to paint. And it was a pretty bitching program, you know.
That's cool, man. That sounds like something that you know, did that help to sort of like, I don't know. I just think it's hard to imagine spending that much time in those places, you know what I mean? For even somebody who's been there, like it's hard for me to imagine that day in and day out. And then also the, you know, the moving around all the time, you know, diesel therapy is what they would call it in you know, in the federal print and feds. and it just it's amazing that you made it out, first of all. So
yeah, it is. At that time, my program was pretty solid. I mean, it's a level 4, but I get up in the morning, go to work in arts and corrections. I come home, at dinner time, basically. So I'm in there all day. And but like my boss, when I first started working in there, they buy all the art supplies. So basically they own all the art that's done in there because they own all the supplies, and that's the program. You learn, that's what it is. And so the first budget, I go, hey, how much is our budget? She goes, $1,800. And at that time, I was the only guy allowed in there, unless we had an outside instructor come in for an art class. And so we had the first art sale. It was all my art. We made like $5,000. And she was like, oh my God, man, we never made that much money. And she was just blown away. And so I go, how much is our budget this year? And she goes, $9,000, spend it all. And it's just like, I had carte blanche to order whatever I wanted. And I ordered shit. And all the guys before me were buying art supplies and trading it for drugs. That's why she was leery at first, And so I bought gallons of paint, buckets of brushes, all the shit that, they used in supplies for like 5 or 6 years after I had left, So, and then I heard some guys are complaining about the program and they want to have music in there and this and that. And they felt like I was cock blocking them. And I walked in on her telling them, hey, that dude, and she was referring to me, has busted his ass in here to make this program what it is. And if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be no fucking program. Because she was on the minimum yard. I ran the shop,
Yeah.
So to have that budget thing and hear her saying that shit to me, she had a level of confidence in me and trust that I developed with her that I was like, yeah, that's good shit. That's what life's really fucking about, And
yeah, that must have felt good considering all of the other experiences that you've had with authority in the past, right?
Yeah, and actually, this is from the Antelope Valley Press, Inmate Paints, World Beyond Fences, and then that's me.
Awesome.
And then there's a LA Times. Let's see which way the camera go. That's me painting an icon,
Yeah.
We had news media come in there and film us. We had the Man Show came in there. We had, newspaper articles. It was bitch and shit, man.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
So I want to ask a question. You spent the majority of your life behind bars.
Right.
Did you ever experience a bottom of any kind while you were there, or what was the hardest thing you had to deal with?
I was going to say, like, while all this was going on, Gray Davis wrote an article in the LA Times that said, if you're in prison for murder, or, you got a life sentence, you're going to parole in a pine box. And Pete Wilson had the same mentality. He just never came out and said it, So after a while, while I was in Lancaster, I just felt like, fuck this. I used to just go home and pray for death, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to take myself out. I always, but I used to pray for death. Like, man, just end this shit, really, and sincerely wanted that,
Yeah.
I just felt like, man, this is, even going down to a level 3 or level 2, this is the best as it's ever going to get. I'm going to be able to do my art, because they took so much away from us. They took everything from us. They took our family visits. They took our weights. They took packages from home. They just took everything from us. And so I thought, this is just a miserable experience in existence. No matter what I'm doing, no matter how positive my program is with the art, I had a halfway decent radio. I love music, this is it. I'm a fucking biker, man. I grew up around bikers. And even if you're not with the motorcycle club shit, man, you want to ride motorcycles. It's a sense of freedom, man, that you unless you've done it, you really can't understand it. I just the only way I figured I was going to get out was to die. And I wasn't looking forward to spending another 20, 30, 40 years in prison and then dying in there. And that's what I figured my existence was going to be. And it was pretty bad, you know.
What turned it around?
Well, you know, I went down to level 3 and then I went down to level 2 and I went to San Quentin. And I thought, well, they had a hobby shop. Guys are doing woodwork. It was pretty loose, you know, San Quentin. You know, I still had the mentality back in the old days, San Quentin, that if you could get it to your cell, you could keep it. Guys had their cells paneled with wood. They would take their beds out, their metal frame beds, and send them out and have big, giant pillows made that they would sleep. It was just, you know, so that's my mentality, San Quentin. So when I got there, I started, you know, I tiled my floor in my cell with linoleum tile. I painted a fucking mural on the wall, the ceiling in my cell, and you know, and I just thought, man, this is it. I said, look, if I'm gonna die in this motherfucker, I'm not gonna spend the rest of my life in the shoe. It ain't this guy or that guy's fault that I'm in here. And you know, I started going to Catholic Mass. You know, I started a lot of Orthodox Christian literature, but they don't have that in there. So I would go to the Catholic services, very similar. I just thought, you know, I'm going to make sure when I leave this fucking place, I'm going to be as right as I can with my my higher power. And I'm going to enjoy my artwork, my music, couple of friends. We're in the same boat. We're never going to get out. And this is what I'm going to do until I die, you know. I'm not going to I made my bed. I got to lie in it. So I'm not going to sit around and live in that self-pity bullshit, you know, that I had in the past. And so I got into my art, you know, and I got into, you know, I hadn't used jack shit for quite a few years since 97. You know, I've been clean. This is like 2006, 2007. And I say, yeah, I'm clean and sober, you know, but really I was just sober. You know, I still had a pretty shitty outlook on a lot of stuff. But, you know, in 2011, I had a route for getting tobacco in there. You know, tobacco's illegal. And I like, hey, you know, it's not drugs. It's just tobacco. No big deal, right? It's legal. So I started smuggling tobacco and I figured out how to get, like, you could have hobby orders sent in from the street. So I manipulated that where I could order like some tubes of paint and a few brushes from, you got to get your shit from the vendor, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I would get like quarts of paint and, you know, 100 paint brushes. And they have a limit on how much money you could spend. I was getting paint brushes that cost like $200 for one paintbrush. And, you know, and in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, I'm never getting out. This tobacco stuff's not going to last forever. So I'm going to buy enough art supplies to last me 10 or 15 years. You know, that was my mindset. And I was getting shit to silk screen with. I was getting wood and all this stuff. And these guys are watching me in a hobby shop. You know, these guys that think they're, you know, they've been down maybe 10 or 15 years. And, you know, I've been over 30 years and whatever. And they're just like, they have this mentality that they're the shit. They're like above the fray. And I'm, you know, and they're not. They're fucking, they're turds. You know, they're lames, really. Yeah. And you know, I used to fat mouth them, you know. So they basically, the envy and, you know, it's not really even jealousy. It's just envy, you know. They fucking told on me, you know, and you know, here I am getting all these art supplies in there, and they got to go through they would go to arts and corrections. It wasn't like when I was in Lancaster. They had no respect for the program. They would just rape the fucking place so they could get shit. So instead of getting a hustle like me and figuring out how to get shit, they would just rape the programs that other guys should have been able to get, you know. So their envy and shit led them to tell on me, and I got busted. I was selling tobacco for stamps, actually, and then selling the stamps on the street for $8 a book. So I lost 1,500 books of stamps. Staff in San Quentin at that time, if they didn't like you, which they didn't really care for me and what I was doing, they let them guys loot my shit before they packed up my property. So I sat in the hole for 5 months, and I got transferred to Soledad. I asked my counselor, how come I can't go back out to the yard? And he laughed. He goes, all them dudes told on you, man. They don't want you back out there. So while I was in the hole, guys started going home. Lifers. That was 2011. And so I got transferred to Soledad. I got my property. The only thing I really got that they didn't steal from me because I wasn't there. You know, they do shit behind your back they won't do to your face, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They loot your shit. I had a Sony Sport boombox, you know? Fuck, I was like, fuck, yeah, I got my radio, you know? I had bought that for a can of tobacco, you know? And so I had my radio, but all my art supplies had been looted. All my fucking CDs, everything you got of value, they just loot, you know? It's just like, what a bunch of fucking, you know? And
yeah, I mean, it sucks because it's all you got, man. You know what I mean? And it's
your life, you know? It's your life. And, you know, I was kind of, later on, I think, I was thankful I didn't go back to the yard because I would have stabbed them dudes. You know, I was actually sitting in the hole thinking, when I get out, I'm going to get a piece, and I'm going to go stab this guy in the 5th tier, and I'm going to stab this guy in the 3rd tier, and I'm going to stab that. I was just going to work my way down and stab them dudes and then fucking go out the yard. So I was grateful that I didn't go back to that building. I got transferred to Soledad Central, and I ran into this guy that I'd known, and he goes, you know, Smiley, he goes, you know why that happened? And I go, why? And he's like, because you haven't turned your life and your will over your higher power like you're supposed to 100%. And he goes, you're sober, but you're not fucking clean. And I, you know, I'm like, yeah. And I thought, yeah, you motherfucker, you know. But I go sit on the bleachers and realize, you know, he's right. He was right, you know.
Yeah, you're still toxic, man.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I like people that'll shoot it to you straight, you know. I don't fuck with people that beat around the bush or, you know. So I thought, you know what, guys are going home. I knew I was going to get a 5-year denial, so I went to board. I got a 5-year denial for that tobacco. They're like, come back in 5 years. So I thought, well, I made about $30,000 off that tobacco. Break that down into 5 years. What's that? You know?
Yeah.
It's not much.
$5,000 a year.
Yeah, if that, right? So I just decided, you know, I'm gonna fucking get out. And then I got valley fever there at Soledad. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a fungus. It's actually a prehistoric fungus, and it's in Central Valley. It's on the coast. It's in Arizona too. So when they dig the soil, this fungus gets in the air. You breathe it. It reactivates, starts eating a hole in your lung. It'll eat, like one of my friends got it and ate its way up his spine into his brain, and it'll attach to your organs and start eating your organs. It'll kill you. And guys die from it.
Yeah.
And so I lost like 60 pounds in a month. You know, they caught it. It stayed within my lungs, so I took antifungal drugs that made it go dormant. If it gets out of your lungs, you have to take medicine for the rest of your life, you know?
Yeah.
So then they're like, well, there's lawsuits now on medical in California prison system. At one time they had like 180,000 guys in California prison system, and one guy a week was dying due to lack of medical care. So they ordered the state to lower their prison population by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I got transferred over to CMC West, dorm living. I hated life. I had my art. I had to give up my radio, you know, because it's a dorm.
Yeah.
I had to, you know, because it's a high risk. They deemed me as a high risk medical because I had valley fever, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did a couple years there, and I really hated it, man, because it's level 2, and the next step is level 1, which is nothing, like no fence, you know. And you have all these guys doing like a year, 3 years, 4 years, and they're just like, hard as a rock and twice as solid, politicking. I'm like, really? And none of them really want to do anything. They want to have some youngster do something and, call shots on these kids.
torpedoes.
Yeah, and they're having these kids remove people and they're slamming dope, smoking dope, and enjoying the benefits of being the shot caller. And none of them have ever done any fucking time anywhere. So, I'm from San Diego, right? And so I had a youngster there. It was a plumber, and he had gotten out of the hole before I got there. They used him to remove somebody. So I told him and my other little homeboys, I go, hey, look, from now on, you don't do nothing on this fucking yard unless you ask me. If these guys tell you you got to put in some work, come and let me know, because we're from San Diego. Fuck these dudes. You don't do shit for none of these fucking guys. And, I had some knives put on the yard, and I'm thinking, man, it's a fucking level 2, but I had my youngster bring some knives. We put knives on the yard in case we needed them. And I had one homeboy, man, that I told him, hey, look, you wanted to fuck some guy up, and they were telling him, oh, you can't do that. And I said, look, bro, not only are you from San Diego, you're a fucking biker, and your dad's in a bike club. I go, you don't need to ask nobody nothing. One of these fucking scumbags pisses you off, you just beat his ass. And he was a little slow, and he told the shot caller, yeah, my homeboy said I don't got to ask permission from no one. I could just do whatever the fuck I want. And the guy came and told me, hey, man, did you tell so-and-so, I said, yeah, and so, needless to say, I wasn't really liked that much by them type of fellas there, but I did have a crew of guys, not just my homeboys, but some other guys that were like, they were digging it,
Yeah.
because they weren't with the drugs and all the fucking lame shit, That's a little thing I got. I said, white powder, Holmes, because, all the super hard white dudes, they're just into drugs, bro.
Yeah.
It's all about the white powder,
So
Yeah.
for guys that are in, if there's any guys that are watching this right now, maybe in the same situation, maybe they got some anger issues, don't know how to deal with, going through some hard times. Maybe they've been to prison, maybe they've been, to county jail, and next stop for them may be prison. What would you what would you say to them? You know what I mean? With all your experience inside, and when I went in, I thought that I could just solo go through and not click up and like just mind my own business, but that's not a possibility.
Really?
At least it wasn't where I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I ended up getting jumped by some Southsiders, and it was like, all right, well, because I look like I'm Hispanic, but I'm white.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's I had no choice. So what would you say to that person?
Well, I'll just say, like, use your head, be logical about shit. Like, obviously, like, if you're in a high level prison, there's all the prison gangs are out of the shoe. They were locked up for like 30 years in California. Now they're all back out on the main lines. And, they set policies, whatever. And we had policies in there when I was there, even when they were in the hole. But, like, you can do your own shit, but you're going to have to earn your respect from people, Like, if some lame's trying to tell you something, figure it out. If he righteously is just some lame trying to work you, like he's somebody and he's not, you should be able to figure that out pretty easily, fuck him. But if there's a dude on the yard who's serious shit, he's like a boss on the yard, whether he's in a prison gang or somebody gave him the keys to the yard, not some lame acting like he's got the keys to the yard. You have different types of guys running shit. Some guys are just dope fiends. They're about the chaos, the stabbings, and other guys are smart, you know, because they know stabbings, riots is bad for business, right? And so figure out who's running shit, figure out what the policies are, and work within them parameters. You don't have to fucking click up, join a gang, any of that bullshit. Find yourself a job, whether it's vocational program or a maintenance job or an industry job. Get a routine. You get up, you go to chow, you go to work, you come home, you shower, you go to dinner, you walk laps, work out in the night yard, and that's your day. That's your fucking routine. Don't break your routine, and find one or two guys that you can do your routine with that aren't with the shit. You know, they're not fucking dope fiend who's going to get you in trouble because he ain't paid his debts. Ain't some scared motherfucker telling on everybody, right? Because then they're going to come and tell you, hey, your boy's telling. You got to handle that because you're running with him.
Yeah.
If you're running with somebody who's telling, you're going to have to deal with that. You know, choose who you associate with wisely because it's going to reflect on your character, you know. But, you know, you can go to prison, get a job, get a trade, get an education, do your own fucking thing. But if you're involved with drugs, you're trying to impress somebody you think is cool, you know, you're going to get in a wreck, you know. But, you know, like a lot of the policies in California prisons are there for a reason, you know.
Yeah. So were you there when the Green Wall, or is the Green Wall still going on, or were you there?
The Green Wall thing was mostly in Salinas, but they had the same. That's basically where that came from.
Mhm.
But like when I was in Corcoran, they had that mentality. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I was in the main line in Corcoran. I was on 3B yard. A lot of the shit that was going on was in the shoe, but you know, the FBI was investigating them, and for all that shit at the time, we got treated pretty good actually because Corcoran was opened by old school guards, but they definitely had. If anything came on the news about Corcoran, they would slam us and tear up all our cells. You know, that's just a retaliation move. They would instigate shit between the races. And then when there's a riot, you know, the yard gets slammed for months at a time. I mean, it was there, but it was not like Salinas. I heard a lot of fucking shit about Salinas, dude. It's just bad, you know.
Yeah, I had the whistleblower that wrote the book, The Green Wall, on my show not too a while back.
Right. I DM'd him, and I'm
Vodnik.
gonna try to, I'm gonna try to get a shot with him on my channel, but. Yeah, I mean, you know, he gave up a lot to expose that, you know.
Yeah, let me know if you need.
Huh?
I said if you have a hard time getting a hold of him, let me know.
No, we were actually going to do it last week, but he had some other stuff he had to take care of, you know.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's a good interview.
You know, there are staff who've testified against correctional officers, moved out of state, and somebody went up there and tried to kill him. So, and it wasn't an inmate or an inmate crew. So, I mean, you know, it's a serious deal, man. I mean, those guys' careers, their policies, their money, you fuck with their money, and it's, you know, it's an ugly deal. So for that guy to testify against his fellow employees that he worked with, you know, correctional staff, it's a serious deal. And don't think for 1 minute, man, that you know, that guy wore a bulletproof vest, and you know, so
he was, and yeah, how he started it all was it was that big riot, and he before when he took pictures of people before they left, so there was proof of anything that happened once he left his you know, you leave my site, you know what I mean, and so he got a lot of shit for that. But I mean, you know, look, hey, man,
you know,
these guys got it bad enough.
You know, I'm gonna tell you, you know, like you would think, you know, guy in prison, you know, fuck the cops, all that shit, but that's not really the case. You know, I interviewed a guy, Silva. He's retired. He worked in Tracy. Guy always treated us with respect, gave us what we had coming. You know, if you worked in the kitchen when he was a kitchen cop, he might give you a little something extra at the end of the day. You know, he wasn't bringing no, contraband in or nothing, but like extra food or, a little extra laundry, shit like that's no big deal. But he, not all them staff in there are dirty. I remember one time they were tearing up San Quentin. They were just throwing shit off the tier. We had a pile 5 feet high of shit on the first tier. They were throwing legal documents, typewriters, TVs, just throwing it off the tier. And there's a woman who's a program administrator, and she ended up going to Sacramento. So her daughter worked there, and she told this other rookie female staff, "Come on, man, let's get the fuck out of here." She goes, I heard her. She goes, "This shit's illegal, what they're doing. Let's get the fuck out of here." And the rookie chick, she was like, "Well, what do I?" She goes, "Look, if they give you any shit, just go talk to your union rep. This is illegal." So not all them staff in there with the bullshit. They know their job is to keep us there. That's our punishment.
Yeah.
They don't look at their job as to fuck with us as part of our punishment. They know their job is to keep us there, and they know that being there is our punishment.
Yeah.
And then you have other staff that they have staff that have never had a job anywhere else. When I went in there, you had guys that were in Vietnam vets, truck drivers, whatever. They had other careers, and then they became correctional staff. They got guys in there now that come from like right-wing mentality, fuck criminals and all that shit. They grow up with that, and then this is the only job they've ever had, and they think their job is to punish you by fucking with you.
Yeah.
And especially now, it's just it's fucked up. But there are some staff that are not, they're decent, they're just doing their fucking 8 and they're out,
Yeah, well, you were lucky you got out when you did. You missed the whole COVID thing and all that stuff. That there's a lot of folks that died in San Quentin from that.
It's ugly. There's a lot of guys that got it and didn't die, and there's a lot of guys that got it and died. So I was in CMC West for a couple of years, and CMC East is Cell Living. It's across the way. I knew some guys over there, but like for white dudes, they were not supposed to go over there because they got guys over there that are bad, like fucked up cases, whatever, and guys don't deal with it. So they deem that a bad yard, even though it's a general population main line,
Yeah.
And so they opened up a program called Long-Term Offender Program. So what happened was the courts were letting out, they said you got to lower your population. So CDC and the Governor Brown, they were letting out all these guys. They were coming right back. And then the court said, look, you got to let these guys out that got life terms. They don't have life without. They got 15 to life, 25 to life, 7 to life. You got to let them out. And so guys were getting out. And so the board designed a program called Long-Term Offender Program. So in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, the board designed this program. And they're saying they want lifers to go through this program. So, 1 and 1 is 2, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying if you go to prison, you're on your way to the joint, you're in a county jail, or use common sense. Be honest with yourself about what you're seeing and what you're hearing. So the bottom line is, if the board made the program, obviously they want you to do it, or they're not going to fucking let you out. And it was similar to the programs we went through in Vacaville back in the 80s, before they slammed the door on us. So I told some guys, hey, I'm going to go take that program. And they're like, come on, man, you're not going over there. I say, I'm going to go over there. And then like a month later, I go, hey, I just took the assessment to go take that program. Like, yeah, right. Quit fucking bullshit, And then about another month went by and I go, hey, I'm packing my shit right now. And I'm going over there right now, today. I'm packing my property and I'm going over there. If you got a problem with it, let's fucking go in the TV room and handle it. And they're like, it's all right, Holmes. We know you're a lifer. You got to do that shit to get out. It's all good. So I shot over to the long-term offender program, which is like, anger management, family relations, substance abuse. There's like 6 different categories, And then another guy came over a few months later and he goes, yeah, bro, as soon as you walked out the door, you were a no good piece of shit. Right. But I gave him the shot. Like, hey, you got a fucking problem. Let's do it right now. So that's how dudes are in there. They'll pat you on the back. Hey, bro, what's up? All right. Yeah. And then as soon as you turn your back and some other guy got a problem with you, they'll be calling you a piece of shit. So when some guy's telling you that Joey over there is a piece of shit, just know that when he's with Joey, he's telling him you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's, guys that do that, that's how they are. So, I shot over there. I finished that program. And, eventually they let the guys out of the hole of the shoe. And we had some Hispanic prison gang members came there. And I remember he wouldn't talk to anybody but me and one other dude, as far as the white dudes. But, I got ready to go to board, and my lawyer goes, hey, your board commissioner is going to be Randy Grounds. Well, he was a warden at Soledad when I was there, and my lawyer's from Monterey area, so she knew him. She did a lot of hearings at Soledad. And I go, fuck, man, that dude's the worst. She goes, oh, no. I said, man, all these guys say that dude's terrible, worst board member ever. She goes, nah, man, nah. She goes, he's just like you guys. I go, what the fuck you mean he's like us? So, he was a Marine.
Yeah.
He used to train ultimate fighting. Worked his way up to warden. She goes, unless your victim's a woman, a child, or a cop, you're good. Just be straight with them. So I went in there and 2 hours and 15 minutes in my hearing, and he found me suitable, man. And I never had an easier board hearing,
And what are you thinking? What are you thinking when they said that, man?
Well, they find you suitable for parole, and dude, I was just overcome with emotion, and started crying like a little kid, and so he tells the cop, have Mr. Smiley wait in the hallway out there. I want to talk to him, And so, he's like a man's man kind of dude,
Yeah.
So he tells me, he goes, I could have denied you over that tobacco. I go, yeah, I know. And he goes, don't ever take the easy way out again. And I said, I won't. And he says, he goes, guys like you are our greatest asset. And I'm thinking, what the fuck you talking about? And he goes, you got a story to tell, and I want you to tell it. He goes, and when you're able to come back in these prisons, I want you to come back in here, and I want you to tell your story to these guys in here. And I was just like, wow, man. I was just, and the whole time he's talking to me, I'm fucking tears rolling down my face. And, I was just like, man, thank you, and it was just a trip, man. I even though I'd done all the work, and, in the hearing, they never asked me one thing about that program I went through. But I know, looking back, they asked me questions about other things, and they could tell that I learned something from the program by the way I was answering the questions, So.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. You just the one, it's over. It's over. You know what I mean? It's finally over.
Yeah. Well, I had to wait 120 days for the parole board to review it, and then the governor has 30 days to review it. So here's another trip. I had an ancestry DNA. I don't know if you saw that on my channel. I talk about that, but my last year for my birthday, my wife got me an ancestry DNA, and this guy pops up, says he's my cousin. I don't know. I mean, totally foreign to me. Don't know who he is. And his DNA markers match mine like 1,800. And so my real cousin, his DNA markers only match me like 500. And my mom matches me like 3,000. So he calls me, once we start communicating, he goes, I don't think I'm your cousin. He goes, I think I'm your brother. And turns out he is. And he shot me some pictures of my dad, who's passed away. When he was a certain age, you look at our photos, and I look just like him, So, but anyways, while I was suitable, I get called over, and the sergeant goes, "Hey, man, you know this guy, so and so?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Is he a family member?" I go, "Yeah." I thought he was my dad, not my stepdad, but my dad. He split when I was like a year and a half, 2 years old. He goes, "Well, you got a stay away order." Because I wrote him, said, "Hey, I'm getting out, I tell him I don't want nothing from you. I just want you to know I'm going to get a second shot at life." So I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You can't call him. You can't see him. You can't write him. You can't have any contact with him, or you're coming back to jail. It's a stay away order." I go, "All right." He goes, he sent a copy of the letter I wrote him to the prison. And they go, "It's been deemed normal contact. You're not in any trouble." I go, "All right." So then time goes by, and they call me over to the office again. Now it's a captain. He goes, "Hey, this guy?" Well, I go, "Yeah." I go, "I already know." He goes, "Well, he contacted the warden. I'm doing the warden's review. You got a stay away order, blah, blah, blah." I'm thinking, fuck, dude. So basically, he's trying to block me from getting out.
Wow. That's crazy.
And yeah. And so later on that day, they call me in. They go, "Hey, the governor took no action. You're going home next Friday." I go, "Wow, this is a Friday." So the weekend comes, Sunday, I go to the chapel for mass, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going home, whatever." So I come back to the yard, and usually I could come back and go in the housing unit and go to my cell, even though if it's not an unlock, because I just walk down the hallway, go right to my pad, like, "Hey, just wait for the unlock." I'm like, wow, that was weird. So I walk around, I go by the track, and I'm kicking it. Fucking riot jumps off. It's like over here, and I'm on the track, and black dudes jumped on the whites. Then they jumped on some of the Southsiders. Now you got a big riot going with the blacks. And so, I think a couple guys, at least one guy died. A bunch of guys got stabbed. It was ugly. And I was like, fuck, dude. So then they come and take everybody to the hole. The hole, they have walk-alone cages, So you got everybody, like at 15 dudes in each cage. Then they start bringing buses on the yard. Everybody's going to ad seg. Even if you're out there on the phone, you're going to ad seg. I'm like, dude, this is Sunday. I'm going home Friday. So these lieutenants will walk by and I'll be like, "Hey, dude, says my battery's running low. I'm going to plug in." I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm supposed to go home next fucking week, And they're all like, "Yeah, good luck with that." And, so I got to plug in my computer. So 2 or 3 lieutenants go by. They're like, "Yeah, good luck, good luck." Finally, this lieutenant walks by, and he actually listens to me. And there we go. He's like, "I'm going to check it out. I'll get back to you." And then my dorm officer walks by from when I was on the minimum yard, or the level 2 yard. I ran it down to him, He goes, "Hey, that lieutenant's all right. His word's good, I say, "Hey, can you co-sign me?" This cop rides motorcycles and all that shit. And he goes, "Yeah, I'll talk to him." And then some other cop walked by. It was my other building officer on the level 2. And he's like, yeah, I'll talk to him. So lieutenant comes by and he goes, "Who was with you, when you're over on the track?" I go, "Oh, that guy and that guy." He goes, "All right." And he split. This shit happened like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, 4 in the morning, we've been in the cages all day, Here comes V, my old building officer. He goes, "Hey, Smiley, come on." He goes, "Get that guy and that guy. Let's go." I go, "Where are we going?" He goes, "You're going back to your cell." We were the only guys that got to go back to our cells.
Well, that's cool.
I was just like, dude, everyone, they were bringing buses to transfer guys to Corcoran, Delano, because they didn't have enough room in Ad Seg there,
Yeah.
And I just thought, man, because if I would have went to Ad Seg, I would have lost my date,
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. So you made it through this. You got out. You got your date. So Friday comes, and what's the first thing you do?
Well, I got a lot of shit, like I got art supplies I've been saving, using. I brought that shit home, all my stuff. I walk out to the fucking, I'm paroling off a lockdown, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even get a chance to shower, you know. So, yeah, they gave my TV and my radio away, all that bullshit. And I go out to the administration building. I'm in R&R, and then I walk out to where staff come in and out. And I'm like, you know, it's open. And my mom picked me up, drove me to LA, you know, and I put my shit in their car. And I'm like, fuck, this is a trip, dude. You know, so we took Highway 1 down to LA. And my papers say, you know, report the first working day. Well, that's Friday, so that would be Monday. But I call and they go, you bet some chick. She's like, you got to get down here tonight by 5 o'clock. And so I get to the parole office and this black dude, he's like, hey, dude, it's Friday. I live 3 hours from here. You're fucking my weekend up. I go, well, look, you know, I've seen guys get violated for not reporting the same day. He goes, read the paper, asshole. It says the first working day. That's Monday. So he piss test me and all that shit. And he goes, get the fuck out of here. So I spent the weekend in a Best Western hotel with my mom, you know, swimming, you know, eating pork chops at the restaurant and, you know, going to some shopping mall, get a few clothes. And you know, I had a phone. I was just like, dude, this is, you know, I walked out. Huh?
Yeah, no, because you went in and there was no, like, you missed the whole technology thing, right?
I did have a cell phone in there though, so
yeah. Oh, all right. So you knew how to use it. Was it a smartphone?
Yeah, I had a slider phone, you know.
Yeah. All right.
But,
so you do a little bit of it, but I mean,
yeah.
coming out and like just seeing the difference in like how, you know, just society's growing, like your hometown, like everything's grown, it's bigger.
Well, I didn't parole to my hometown. I paroled to Los Angeles.
Okay.
So I had wrote my daughter, I said, hey, you know, I'm going aboard. And then I wrote her and told her, hey, I'm getting out. Well, she didn't open the letter. She let it sit there for like a couple months, and then she opened it and was like, oh, wow. So she calls we were ex-wife at that time because I divorced her. You know, they took her visits and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think I was getting out. And so she wrote me a letter. She goes, hey, Mom, they're letting him out. So I had gotten a letter from her like 2 days before I got out. I had her email address, so I figured out how to send an email on my phone to her. And she was going to college at the time. She's on her computer at home. And I sent her an email that said, you know, I just ate some pork chops for the first time in 30 years. So she gets that email on her computer while she's doing her homework, you know, for college. Yeah. So I went to the Francisco House, which is a transitional housing run by a Catholic nun, Sister Teresa, in Los Angeles. And they got 5 houses. I was on 54th in Vermont and South Central LA. That's where I went, you know, and I was there for 7 months. I had some money. So after 29 days, I got a 2004 Dyna lowrider Harley Davidson. You know, then I started working with a job readiness program, like sweeping the sidewalks, dumping trash cans, you know. So I got to walk all over Los Angeles. Then I had a route. They gave me a route on Figueroa corridor by the college there. I think it's USC or whatever. And it was pretty cool. You know, we're the only white dudes in the neighborhood, you know.
Yeah.
And so I asked this guy, what's it like living here? He goes, it's just like prison. I go, what do you mean? He says, if you want some, they'll give you more than you can handle. But if you don't want none, they won't fuck with you. And it was cool. I actually was more comfortable in that neighborhood than going. I'd go to Santa Monica or Hollywood or, you know, venture out. I was like, you know, people are a lot more less friendly and a little more kind of rude, actually. You know, in the ghetto. I live like 2 blocks from where the Rodney King riot started, you know.
Yeah.
But man, they're friendly, you know, say hi, how you doing, chat with you. I liked it, you know, really. And then after 7 months, I moved up here to the mountains with my wife, and we got remarried. And yeah,
So tell me a little bit about Hard Intentions and your brand before we close this out. We're about an hour and 24 right now, so
Oh
6 minutes we'll wrap it up.
Yeah,
But
so this is my artwork, and this is a print on canvas of a painting I did. Two
oh wow, that's
moons.
nice.
He was a native, he was a Cheyenne chief. 2 moons. That's why there's 2 moons in there.
That's
I
beautiful, man.
do that, and I got this is actually a drawing I did in San Quentin back in 1982. A pen, colored pencil, all that shit mixed. But I have T-shirts. This is one of my shirts and my logo. I have a YouTube channel, Hard Intentions, and I also have a website, Hard Intentions. This is an oil pastel I did in the joint. It's weird. It's not showing
That's
some of
nice.
the colors. Some of it's like weird, transparent.
Yeah, that is. It is
The camera's not picking it up right. Here's another painting I did when I was in the pen. I don't know how to get that. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, I have your website on the bottom there. It's hardintentions.com. Let me go ahead and pull us out here. This is the website, hardintentions.com, and you have all of your products that you've got, your T-shirts and everything there.
Yeah, we got T-shirts, artwork, But I have a YouTube channel, and we interview guys. I tell my story, and basically it's just we talk common sense.
Yeah, this is the website, or this is your YouTube channel. Go to your home right there.
Yeah. Wow.
You got that. You also got you're on TikTok as well.
Yeah, we got a couple things on there.
Yeah.
There's some of my tattoo work I did on Sam down the hill. Yeah.
And all of these links I got direct links in the description for this. So, everywhere that Mitch is, you can catch him on those whatchamacallit, on those direct links. Hook up with him. You want to check out some of his artwork. He does amazing work. Those paintings are beautiful, brother.
Thank you. I just built the shed I'm in right now. It's going to be my art studio. So I'm going to start doing art and tattooing here. Yeah. Life's good, man. I don't look back. I just look forward,
So any plans on going back and helping guys, inside when you get an opportunity to?
Yeah, the COVID kind of messed that up. Now I have this new variants of it, so they're kind of weird about who letting people in. I do know some guys that go into San Quentin, and so I'm working on that.
Yeah, awesome, man. Let me know too, because I have a nonprofit that I started. Basically, it's called the Nowhere to Go But Up Project, and I'm working to build a program because the Youth Authority is closing its doors in 2023. You know about that, right?
Yeah.
All right, so everything's going back to the counties, and the counties are going to have to figure it out through either community-based programs or whatever they have. And so I'm building a program right now to house and mentor 18 to 24-year-old males coming out of incarceration. Either coming from
I have a friend. I have a friend, Jeff. He did the life sentence, and we're going to start this thing called Beat the Boss. And that's kind of our goal, is to go into schools and get a curriculum maybe of some kind. He's a pretty sharp guy. What's called the biker and the businessman. He's got a story that's pretty incredible. So yeah, that's something that I am definitely interested in. Awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I have a 501c3 that I started. So, I mean, I am a nonprofit. So definitely, I would like to hook up with you and, try to, facilitate maybe, connection, right?
Yeah, you're not that far away either.
Yeah. With what you're doing, with what I'm doing, and try to figure out a way to, because it's the government's not going to help us. The states are not going to help us. You know what I mean? No. The people that are going to help are the people that are like myself, like you, who got out and have turned over a new leaf and have decided to, turn your life around, basically, right?
Yeah, and like my friend Jeff said, like they can hire guys to go in there with degrees and whatever, some nerdy lame, go in there, and youngsters are not going to want to listen to them if they hear it from guys that have been there, done that, talk sensible shit. Man, that's who they want to hear it from.
Yep, because those guys don't understand what it was like to walk in your shoes. You can't tell me anything because you've never walked a one step, not even a step in the shoes that I've been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you can't learn that in a book. And you know, I've got a guy. His name was David DeRocher, and he was on his last term that he was about to do was a 15-year term, and he, just like you, he'd been in and out of you know, prisons, and you know, just couldn't keep it together. And he went to the Delancey Street Project, and you know, he gave him one shot, and he made the most of that shot. He was there for like 13 years, ended up running it, and got out. And now he's the executive director of another program called the Other Side Academy. But he did a TED Talk, man, and it was amazing. You know, talking about, you know, where he was and what he did. And I went up there actually, and I visited his program for like 3 days. I stayed up there. I stayed with the you know, where the students stay at, and was able to engage in the programs and learn like kind of everything that they had going on there. And it was kind of an amazing thing, man.
Yeah. You know, like my friend Jeff, you know, he lives down south. He went into Coachella Valley School District, you know, and he said, you know, I see all you parents here. You're here for your children, and that's all cool. He goes, but I'm here for the kids that don't have parents here, you know. And those are the guys, those are the kids, young men, women who end up in prison, man, because there's no one there to give it to them. You know, what they need to hear, what they need to know, a little bit of direction can change a guy's life or a young lady's life forever. I mean, you know, and if it's a negative shit, it's going to change it for the worse. And if you give them maybe a little bit of positive input, can change their life for the better, you know?
Yeah, it's the same reason why we do these live streams. You know what I mean? Because you never know who's going to watch it. You never know who you're going to help, who you're going to touch, who you may just give that one. You may have said the one thing that kept that person going one more day.
Yeah. And that's our thing with Beat the Boss. You know, in prison, you call a cop, hey, boss, what's up? You call the cops boss, you know? So it's Beat the Boss, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you know what? I want to say thank you. I appreciate you reaching back out and making this happen. You know, I'm just. It's hard to like wrap your head around that, man. That amount of time, right? But you know, like I said, it's amazing that you made it through and that you were able to, you know, help somebody else on the other side. And I'm looking forward to the book, man.
You know, I in prison, I found my groove, got me through it. You know, I'm finding my groove out here right now, and yeah. Thanks for having me on.
All right, brother. Let's stay in touch for sure. And
you got my hookup.
Yep.
You do. And
all right, for sure.
Maybe I can have you on my channel talking about your nonprofit sometime.
Yeah, hit me up. I'm always available. Always willing to you know, try to provide value and wherever I can.
That's right. Well, thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.
All right, brother. See ya.
Peace.
All right. Well, that was pretty amazing, man. I you know, like I said, I had a hard time wrapping my head around 30, you know, some odd years, man. That's quite a bit of time. And, you know, it's amazing that he made it through. And, you know, I'm looking forward to following him more on his channels and with the things that he's getting ready to do. And wow, look at that. All my having a wardrobe malfunction moment. All right, guys. Well, I definitely appreciate you checking out the show tonight. And I don't have anything lined up as of yet for next week. So like I said, I'm still back at work trying to figure out how to make all of this, you know, work with my schedule. So I appreciate you. And as always, keep it 100, stay true to yourself. Everything else is just noise.
You've been listening to the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast. Sean is a single dad, a union blue-collar guy, and he spent time in federal and state prison for drug trafficking and fraud. When he was released from prison in 2006, all he had was the clothes on his back, a bag of mail, and some paperwork. Since then, he's turned his life around and shares the struggles and successes on this podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope you were moved. To connect to the show, book a guest spot. For merch, Patreon, PayPal, and social media links, go to linktr.ee/nowhere to go but up. On Instagram at Nowhere to Go But Up Now. On Twitter at But Up Now. On the YouTube channel at Nowhere to Go But Up Podcast. See you next time.